Today is 10-10-10, and that's a specific interesting number to a group called 350.org. And you want to explain why that number is important?
Yes, 350.org was organized a little over a year ago. It was all started by a guy named Bill McGibbon and just a couple other people, actually. And from that, it's generated into groups all over the world doing actions. Last year the one was on October 24th. This year we've picked 10-10-10 just because it's a significant sort of number. But the 350, what it stands for is 350 parts per million of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And that's significant because it's been scientifically proven that we need to bring it down to that number in order to keep the world stable. Where we are now is up around 390. And they're projecting that it will go up within the next, I don't know how many years, but like next little while to like as far as 450 if we can continue on our track, at which point we're going to see huge impacts like floods and glaciers melting.
Now,
yes,
yeah.
Which at 390, we're already seeing some of the things that they projected we'd see at 450, right?
And this is just carbon dioxide.
That's just parts per million, like molecules per million in the atmosphere.
So today you chose garlic. Can you explain the significance of that?
Yeah, the action we chose today, we planted garlic in the shape of a 350 out on land where Hamilton is planning to build an airport and build an industrial site. And if this project goes through, it's called the Aerotropolis, if it goes through, we will be taking out 2,500 acres of prime local agricultural land in Hamilton. And one of the things we need to do in order to, get the number back down to 350 is obviously cut carbon dioxide going into the air, and so we need to quit having trucks shipping food. We need to bring everything more local, have everything done local, and get, things off the road.
Okay, so just explain the importance of using garlic. And I understand that we don't have any garlic here in Canada, running low. Why is that?
Because it's not being grown locally. As far as I know, most of the garlic it's a very easy thing probably to grow in our climate, but we're bringing it in from China instead. If you go to the grocery store, you'll see most of the garlic comes from China, some from the U.S. But anyway, that was why garlic, because it is one of the items that would be so easily grown locally, and most of it's coming in from China, which is ridiculous. So you've got the shipping and the carbon.
Don't forget your shovels.
It is the accordion bus.
I'm not sure how, like, it's, pretty deep.
Oh, yes.
It's like, there's not a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, science is there.
Science is very cool in there.
Yeah.
And we can already see the changes that are taking place
More of the greens
are already dangerous. We're already seeing the loss of the Arctic ice cap. We're already seeing major loss of Greenland. Glaciers all around the world. When those glaciers melt, they supply fresh water to a vast number of people. And they're not going to have that fresh water in summers when the glaciers aren't there melting. The same with the glaciers in Greenland that are slipping into the ocean much faster than before. The same with the breakup of major ice formations in Antarctica. And we're seeing extreme weather all over the planet. And this summer was awful, particularly from a food perspective, because this summer there was a heat wave in Russia sitting over Moscow, the worst in their history. They never had anything this bad reported before, and it wiped out their wheat crop. This is the third largest wheat exporter in the world. They stopped exporting, and the countries around them, Ukraine and so on. At the same time as that was happening, In Pakistan, you had flooding. You had monsoons that didn't really arrive. They stayed and stayed and stayed. And as a result, you ended up in a situation where an area twice the size of the Superior was underwater. 20% of the population was 20 million people who were affected. And Pakistan is the 6th largest country in the world. It now appears possible that Pakistan will no longer be able to feed itself from this one climate catastrophe because it washed away their forests, their animals, their seed. They're in a disastrous situation. In addition to that, we had floods in Saskatchewan, we had floods in China, we had a continuing drought, catastrophic drought in Australia. If that heat wave that had sat over Moscow had sat over Chicago instead, we would right now have a real shortage of grain on the world markets because the U.S. Midwest or the North China Plain, either one of those, if they had had that heat wave in Moscow, would have wiped out their grain crops. So we're incredibly vulnerable on a global scale. And here we are in Hamilton, giving up 2,500 acres, maybe up to 5,000 acres. The city doesn't want to tell us how many acres they're urbanizing, but at least 2,500 acres of farmland are being lost if this airdrop is stopped.
Didn't get it, it was so far.
Back in the time.
Hey, Dee, did you get the numbers in?
I think so.
Well, it's also more important.
You can.
All the way back and leave our car there?
For a trip.
Garlic is only the most recent. There was a tariff actually put in place to try and prevent this Chinese garlic from chasing Ontario garlic out of the market. And the garlic started coming in from the Philippines. The garlic started coming in from the Philippines. We get a lot of Mexican stuff. We get a lot of, much of our food comes from California, comes from the U.S., but we are seeing stuff that's coming from overseas. But even the stuff that's coming from California, California is in pretty desperate straits in terms of water. And they are also getting hit by significant heat waves that are certainly damaging the crops as well. So, in all the situations, we become really dependent on food from everybody else. And we think we can just give up our farmland and it's okay, and the food will just keep coming, and it won't. And at the end of the day, in the same way as freedom of the press belongs to those who own one, the freedom to eat belongs to those who have farms.